Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Hardwood Nation podcast with your boy CL Anthony and my main man Bryce Ward. Bryce, what is going on?
Oh, not much, man. Just been enjoying my day off so far. How about you?
You're supposed to say living the dream. We do this all the
I can't push it.
time. Welcome, my friend, and welcome to all our other friends at the Hardwood Nation podcast. Usually we do this at the end, but we're going to do it early. Please like, subscribe, and share our content on YouTube and all other social media outlets: Facebook, Instagram,
Please.
Twitter, all of it. We're there. So, Bryce, we got some stuff to talk about. Next week is actually Christmas, which some people consider the official start date of the NBA, even though we've been playing basketball for over a month now.
Mm.
For most people, NBA doesn't start until Christmas. But we got some stuff going on in both these conferences right now. We're about 25 games into the season, a quarter into the season. And I looked at the standings this morning, and it looks like the Eastern Conference is on fire. We have multiple win streaks this week of over four. Bryce, are you surprised that the East seems to be rising up so far?
Um. Well, teams are going to make runs and go on streaks, both winning and losing. And just right now, the top teams in the East seem to be experiencing a lot of success. So it's actually right this moment seems to be a bit of a transitional shift because traditionally, I feel like a lot of us always thought the Western Conference was stronger, and
Mhm.
we're seeing whether or not that's true or not. It always felt that way. I know we talked about it a lot. It definitely seems like the East is on a rise right now, and there's from like 1 to 6. I kind of right now it's easier to believe in those teams more so than some of the teams in the West. Not really
Mhm.
knocking too many teams out there. I'm just saying right now, this moment, the feeling is that the East is really tough. Um, we have a few win streaks, more so I feel like than the West Coast teams, but I don't really I don't know what it is, and if we're just in the moment, and there's a lot of West Coast teams on road trips right now, and so a lot of the Eastern teams are playing home. I don't know. Either way, the East looks pretty tough, pretty competitive, almost from top to bottom, and I think the comment about Christmas is more about the teams being in their comfort zone, like kind of throwing away the first 30 games or so, just because like there's a level of comfort that these teams get in, and sometimes you have guys come back from injury, so it's not like the record doesn't matter or anything. But I think in terms of like watching the game, some of these people think that Christmas is like the marker for when the season truly kicks off because everybody's warmed up, everybody knows who they are pretty much, and it's exciting though, but that the season's already this close already before Christmas.
Right, right. So, a couple things I want to go down. Uh, I'm going to go down some of these winning streaks. So, the Cleveland Cavaliers are currently third in the East, which we knew they would be a strong team. They've won three straight games. The Brooklyn Nets, since Kyrie has returned, have kind of steadied the ship a little bit. They've
Hmm.
won five straight games. The Philadelphia 76ers has benefited from the return of James Harden and Joel Embiid. They've won four straight games. The hottest team in the NBA right now, which we're going to dabble into a little later, the New York Knicks have won six straight games. So, yeah, we're going to give the Knicks a little bit of love.
Hmm.
My three-time NBA champion, Miami Heat, have won four straight games. And then our little brothers in Orlando have actually won five straight games. And surprisingly have beaten the Boston Celtics to get their last win. So there's a lot of good things going on in the Eastern Conference right now. Bryce, I'm going to let you start off with the Magic. What have you seen so far out of your Magic this week?
Energy, pace, and a dedication to the actual game plan. Um, the Magic aren't known for knocking down shots, right, or being the greatest shooting team. But when you have a guy like Markel Fultz, and look, the stat line isn't always going to show it with Fultz, but the pace, that he has the offense getting into their positions and start to move, you can tell a big difference. And it seems to roll over even when he's not on the court. And a lot of that has to do with Cole Anthony being back as well. They both run a high energy, like kind of offense. Whether or not Cole Anthony is a good point guard of Spolt, so I would say he's not. But either way, having those guys back, getting the offense moving, we're getting better shots. We're getting more open shots just for the fact of everybody's moving in rhythm. The team's getting more comfortable with each other, and they're just playing more energetic defense. Like the things they got killed for earlier on in the season, maybe a lack of communication and effort on defense. The communication's the big thing because we're trying to become a switching defense, and with everybody being young and not really knowing the system and not knowing how to communicate, it was a big problem. Also, couple that with some of our major players being out. So now we got players back. We got Fultz running a tighter offense. We have guys that are holding the younger guys accountable, playing a more physical style defense. Even with Wendell Carter being out, who's arguably our top or third best player, he's a huge defensive anchor in the paint. Not having him has been tough. So Mo Wagner has come in and filled that role actually pretty well recently, and he had a big game the other night against Boston, and he was a part of that effort and tone and getting Boston to feel uncomfortable. So right now it's been a lot of guys getting back, the team playing the right way, and actually staying dedicated for the whole game. And those few things, it just feels like a night and day difference. Like the effort and the energy is there where it wasn't towards the end of that long losing streak we just had. So it's just been nice to see. They've been building on it, and so far the more impressive wins keep coming. Boston's probably most impressive because they seem to be one of the best teams in the NBA. But right now, there's a lot of good things that the Magic are doing, and we still have to get Jalen Suggs, Wendell Carter Jr., and Chuma Okeke back, to name a few. Also Gary Harris. But those first three guys are very important to our defensive schemes. So I actually think we're only going to get better. It's a little rough when we transition these injured guys back into the lineup. Like everybody seems to be a little off step the first game or two, especially in terms of offense. So we'll see if it's a little tough getting those guys back in there. But right now, it's nothing but good things. They're playing the right way. And if this is the worst version of Paolo Banchero we get for the rest of his career, he's going to be an absolute all-star. He's a 20-a-night guy, even when it seems like he's having a bad night. And the same for Franz Wagner. Like, their worst nights are still great games. And right now, it just feels really good watching that Magic team. And they're a lot of fun to watch. So,
Yep. I asked our guys up in New York last night, I said, what the hell is going on with the New York Knicks and how on earth have they won 6 straight games? So Kenneth told me that. Kenneth Teef of the Hardwood Nation, as you guys know, told me that Tom Thibodeau made a rotation change a couple of weeks ago. And since that change, the Knicks, who were notoriously bad on defense last year and the beginning of this year, have become a top 5 defensive team since that switch, which is, Tom Thibodeau teams are known for their defense. So there's also a young player named McBride. The Knicks are 12-0 when McBride plays 15 plus minutes in his career. So they're still trying to work him into the lineup. So Obi Toppin, their forward, went down. That's when the lineup change happened. Excuse me. And since then, they've run off 6 straight wins. So we're definitely going to give the Knicks a little love. Also, there's a young man, Quentin Grimes. He's been in the starting lineup next to RJ Barrett and, of course, Jalen Brunson, playing great together on the perimeter. So those are the things that's going on in New York right now. And it's good. Julius Randle is having a good season. He's not aggravated like he was last season. So he's having a low-key good season. He's staying quiet. Everything is looking good in New York. So we're going to give the New York Knicks some kudos. Like I said, as far as Brooklyn, now that we have some of that drama behind them, looks like they've righted the ship. The coaching change there was huge, by the way. They didn't respect Steve Nash. They seem to respect Jacques Vaughn. And then, of course, the 3-time NBA champion Miami Heat, who again have won 4 straight games, off the backs of the boy wonder, Tyler Hero. We're going to give him some love. And Bam out of the Bayou. They're showing glimpses of what our future could be, even though our future is probably going to start next year. Tyler Hero has had a phenomenal week. So as much as I've killed him on this show, I have to give him some love, which I know our homeboy Kevin's going to enjoy. Um, Tyler hit a game winner this week, dropped a 40 piece this week, dropped a 35 piece this week. He's been playing great defense. As you said earlier this week, Bam has actually upped his rebounding, is still playing phenomenal defense, and is more aggressive on the offensive end while the Heat are dealing with a plethora of injuries to literally everyone on the team. So Heat culture is shining. They're doing good right now. They're kind of back into the race. They're seventh currently, and we're knocking on the Knicks' door. And
Those
the
guys
most
have to
impressive part,
continue to play that way, even when the injuries,
yes,
though.
yes, but there's no better time to do it than now. So the East is kind of rounding itself out. Like maybe we're false prophets at the beginning of the season. They've kind of dropped a little bit. Atlanta, we still don't know what the hell's going on with Atlanta, and also
They're hurt.
Toronto has, yeah, you did tell me, yeah, John Collins is out, and Dejounte Murray is out, and then the Toronto Raptors have kind of dipped a little bit. So,
Yes.
um, the teams that were supposed to be there at the end of the East looks like they're kind of positioning themselves to be there right now. The Washington Wizards have had a very hard drop because once the season started, they're one of the top teams in the East, and right
Yeah.
now they're currently sitting at 12th. You guys are knocking on that door. You're one game behind the Wizards. The most impressive thing about the Orlando Magic, though, you guys are actually right now 4.5 games out of the play-in. It's still possible.
Mm-hmm.
It is still absolutely possible that that could happen. The
Look,
Charlotte Hornets. Oh, go ahead.
we don't usually talk about the Knicks much, right? So I wanted to actually, before we run off the East, I want to ask I mean, with the way things are going, look at the top teams in the East. Do you think what the Knicks are doing are sustainable, and do you think they keep that spot? Because if you look above them, I don't really see a lot of those teams falling off. So the Knicks are going to kind of have to fight off, in my opinion, the Heat, possibly the Hawks, and Toronto primarily right now based on everything. Do you think the Knicks hold that spot?
I think it's possible. Like Miami's right there behind the Knicks. I believe there's one full game, and we haven't really played each other a lot of time. I don't even remember us playing them one time yet this year. So the Heat are right there. I do believe the Heat are better than being a playoff team. So I believe the Heat may get up there, and it may be at the expense of the Knicks. But as far as the Knicks being sustainable, defense is always sustainable, even more so than offense. So yeah, let's say the Heat grab that sixth spot, the Knicks will be right there at the seventh spot as long as they continue to play their defense and
I,
be okay.
I think those 6 spots might maybe interchange Heat Knicks. It could go back and forth all season. I'm pretty safe. Those other 5 are probably going to be there. I don't really think they're going to fall off too much unless they get played by injuries again.
Right, right, right. So going forward, it looks like I said, next week is the official kickoff, and we're gonna have some good stuff going on. So now we're gonna jump out west. Whew. Any surprises you see in that top six so far, Bryce?
Number 1 and 2, and number
we were
5, and honestly, 1, 2, 5, and 6 are more of a surprise than I would have thought.
we were definitely going to give the Memphis Grizzlies some love because they had the hottest win streak before. I can't remember who they lost to. Of course, we gave New Orleans some love last week. Denver has righted the ship. Phoenix is kind of rebounding a little bit. They actually beat the Pelicans last night. The Sacramento Kings have held steady in the 5th spot all season, and it's still Dame time in Portland. What is going on with the Clippers? Kawhi's been in and out. George has been in and out. Do you think the Clippers can make a deep playoff run?
Yeah. It's a matter of how they get in, who they have to play to get there. But if Paul George and Kawhi are healthy, it's until they get beat by someone healthy, it's hard to count those guys out right now because we know what they used to do. And if they're both
Mhm,
healthy at the same time, they're dangerous.
mhm.
There's enough weapons on that team if they're all healthy at the same time that they're dangerous in the playoffs. So I'm not ready to count them out yet. They're kind of like a wild card. You really just don't know what you're going to get yet because they haven't had too much time together.
Right,
But
right,
I'm not going to count them out yet. You know, for whatever success Portland's had, you know what I mean? Like they could always fall off.
right,
Someone
right.
could get hurt. We'll see. If they stay there, I won't be surprised. But the Clippers in the playoffs could be dangerous. I'm not ready to count them out.
I want to say something about, excuse me, the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are currently in the play-in. They're currently at the 10th position, so they're struggling to get into the play-in spot. I will say this: when Cat went down a couple of weeks ago, I thought that was a wrap. I didn't believe in Minnesota this year to begin with, but
Right.
they've been playing 500 basketball, so I think they're going to be without Cat for another 2 to 3 weeks. But if they can keep this up and just steady the ship a little bit, Minnesota may actually be able to have a decent run like they had last year.
Hmm.
Like I said, which surprises me, but Anthony Edwards, it's phenomenal. D'Lo, some trade rumors with D'Lo, throwing that out there. I've been hearing some things, so South Beach looks really good. Just I'm hearing some stuff, but
Y'all go right ahead. Y'all need a chunker.
let me tell you though. Let me tell you, I don't know how it would work. I'm like, how would he even fit down there? I don't know,
I
but
don't
I'm
think
just
y'all need
hearing.
that. I don't think y'all
I,
need that.
I don't know. I His skill set is very similar to Jimmy Butler's skill set. So I'm just like, okay, how would this work with both of them playing together? Side note, I did forget to bring up Victor Oladipo has been playing great defensively, had 5 steals last night. He's working himself back into the rotation. I forgot to mention that when we talked about the Heat.
I
But
love to hear that.
yeah, but Minnesota's really surprising me right now. I have to give them credit too. So now we have to go to the clunkers, the absolute clunkers. Golden State, the Los Angeles Lakers. Golden State, I'm kind of going to give a pass despite their rough start. We found out that Steph's going to be out with a shoulder injury. He may be out a month or two. The good thing is he doesn't have to have surgery. Bryce, how do you think the Golden State Warriors will handle the loss of Stephen Curry for that long?
They'll be okay. I still feel like they're going to be in the play-in by the end of the season. That it's just so hard. They've had so much success, even with some of their stars out over the years. It's really hard for me to count them out completely. Um, Steve Kerr does a good job of slotting in the young guys and like kind of making a name out of them. We saw it happen out of just necessity of them having to cover injuries in the past. Poole and Wiggins have you know filled in like greatly. Like so,
Mm-hmm.
not I'm not so worried about them. Like I said, I do think they figure it out. Um, it's been an odd start of the season for them for sure.
Yeah, very, very odd. They've lost 3 straight games now. Steph went down in the third quarter of their game like 2 games ago. But hey, you got a young stud on that team, and you pay him a lot of money in the offseason. So this is his time to step it up, which he kind of did last year when they were having
Mhm.
the injury issues with Clay being in and out. But it's Jordan Poole's time. Like he has to cement himself as one of the guys on that team. Now we go to the Los Angeles Lakers. Their last 10 have been 5-5. They won their last game. They're not completely out of this. The Lakers are 1.5 games out of the play-in. And people have been secretly raving about the play of Russell Westbrook coming off of the bench. They're no longer considering trading Westbrook because they see him as a valuable asset to the team. Bryce, do you think the Lakers can make the play-in?
For the record, I think Golden State and the Lakers both make the play-in.
Mhm.
Um, to be honest, I don't. I think the NBA will make sure the Lakers make that play-in. There's no way. But but I do agree. The move for Westbrook to the bench seems to be better for the team. Anthony Davis is finally playing up to what people would hope he'd play. It's just a matter of hopefully he can stay healthy, of course, like always.
Hmm.
But they're still tied to trade rumors. They're still tied to like names like Bradley Beal.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know what kind of assets they could try to land him for. What they can offer, I mean. So outside of what they've talked about before, and Westbrook being a part of those trades. So
Right.
I agree he's playing better, and it's definitely interesting. I just if they're still in this spot come trade deadline, they might try something crazy. Who knows? But right
Hmm.
now, it definitely looks like there's at least some bright spots, and they're building. Let's just see if they can keep it going.
They should be able to. Now, there's whispers out there that they are looking to add more shooting, and they're looking to trade Patrick Beverly, who, I mean, as great as he is on the defensive end, he is not a great shooter at all. So they're looking to do that. So throwing like Patrick Beverly, throwing Kendrick Nunn out there. Those are some of the rumors that I'm hearing right now. Let me ask you this question, because we haven't talked about trades since we've started this season. Do you think any superstar would be on the move this year? Because it seems like to me that everyone's happy where they are right now. There's no disgruntled players.
No, now that doesn't mean a team can't decide to blow it up. Um, I could very much see the Bulls trying to blow it up because
Mm,
they're in a very bad spot right now.
hmm.
Um, I saw a trade comparison asking if you thought the Magic or the Bulls won that Vucevic trade. Well, right
Hmm.
now it's looking like the prospects, with the prospects that we got from it, and us being only a few games behind the Bulls, it's looking like the Bulls. It just really wasn't worth it. And I know Lonzo is out,
Right, right.
but right now, after the season they had last year, it looks they're like the Bulls of the season before. They had some success the previous season, and then just completely fall off the next. So I don't know what's wrong there, but I mean, a lot of people don't think the coach is going to make it too much longer either. So that might be a situation where you see the Bulls try to blow it up. So you could see maybe DeRozan, Levine, or Vucevic, on the move at some point, maybe. Who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah. Something's not right there, and it could be just Lonzo being out because Lonzo is a good point guard. The
They're saying
Hawks.
he might not be back this season now.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's big.
Hmm.
We talked about the Hawks last week and their struggles. But Charlotte has lost 7 straight games. I know LaMelo just came back. They are the worst team in the Eastern Conference at 7-22. Do you
Hmm.
think do you think Charlotte's waving that tank flag? You think?
I think it's easy to say tank, but when your star player's out, when also Hayward's out, who's at that point your second, third best player, what are you
Yeah,
doing? You don't have anything. It's easy. It's like people were saying the Magic were tanking. We have like our five best players hurt. What are you supposed to do? You don't have a choice but to be like, yeah, you're tanking. Um, yeah, we're already not going to be good, and then our best players are out. What do you want? There's nothing you. The organization can't come out and say we're tanking because then people don't want to come to the games. But
right,
realistically, you don't have the talent to beat these other teams. So it's like it's a mentality of how you want to look at it. Either way, you're not going to win games.
right.
I don't think they're out there being like, let's sit Lamelo more so we can tank. That's not what's happening. He came back. They want to play, but you can only do so much with what you're given.
Well, yeah, yeah. I'm just saying, there's a certain new Frenchie out there that has like a 7'6" wingspan. So
I ain't worried about when we got Bobo.
I'll just throw that out there. Hey, Bobo's been getting a lot of love. I will say that. Like
Yeah,
Bobo is a Twitter phenomenal right
yeah, he's a unicorn.
now. He's the new unicorn, not Porzingis anymore.
He had a bad game against Boston, but
Did
he's
he?
still finding consistency. He has more good games than he has bad at this point.
That's good. That's good. So that's going to be it for this week's episode of the Hardwood Nation podcast. Once again, please like, subscribe, and share our content on YouTube. Drop a comment. We always respond. You guys have a great week.